Hey everyone, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Salman. I work in DevOps and infrastructure engineering. Day to day, I'm deep into Snowflake administration, uh, few Tableau server administration, and few part is like ISCS, like Informatica server administration, and majorly into AWS administration. So kind of in the whole data life cycle, I'm kind of catering as an administrator for all the platforms. And this is my third effort to record something, and I must say, creating a like perfect content for the consumers or the students, those who are willing to learn something out of YouTube. It's kind of pretty pesky task, I would say, because we need to put in a lot of efforts to make this recording perfect one. I tried two times before this recording. I'm not sure if this is also going to be a success or not. So if there is anything missing or anything I'm doing wrong in my third effort, please bear with me. I'll try my best to teach you something out of this. Okay. So this is episode one of a brand new series. I'm coming with the new series, and it is the biggest thing I have ever done on this channel. So we are building a complete enterprise Snowflake platform as there's a buzz in the market of the Snowflake because Snowflake has a lot of capabilities uh, to grab a market share, I would say. So, in this series, from absolutely nothing or the next, we are planning about 40 episodes all the way through to a production grade platform with security, monitoring, disaster recovery, CI/CD, and admin portal. All of it. I mean, all of it. No fluff, no toy examples. Every episode, we build something real, and you can follow along on your own trial account. And let's start with this series, like why this even exists, like why I planned this. So let me switch back to the second slide, like that I prepared you for you guys. So why I thought to deliver something to my audience, like those who are, I'm getting a couple of messages from people. They wanted something out of my channel to learn about more into administration. So here is the problem with most Snowflake content out there, including a lot of stuff I have made before. You watch a video on RBAC, you watch a separate video on Snowpipe, a separate video on cost optimization, and each one is a clean, isolated demo. Great for understanding a concept, but terrible for an interview. And honestly, terrible for the job itself. Even if you read something, you prepared something on the net from the documentation, uh, like you cracked the job, but it is terrible if you're not able to perform some tasks. Because when you are sitting in front of the hiring panel, like during the interview for a senior data platform role, they're not going to ask you what is virtual warehouse. They're going to ask you, walk me through how you had design RBAC for a 200-person company with finance, marketing, and engineering team who all need different access to the same customer data. That is a systems question. It needs everything connected. Okay. So 40 episodes, one company, full platform. So you will get something out of it. Okay. So let me switch back to my third slide. So here what we are doing, we are inventing a company. I'm calling it as Northwind Analytics. Picture a mid-size e-commerce and retail analytics company, a few hundred employees, finance team, marketing team, or data engineering team, and a growing data science group that wants to use Snowflake Cortex, that is AI, down the line. And starting today, I'm that company's first senior data platform hire. I'm the first data platform hire, or you can call it as an senior uh, Snowflake administrator. Day one, empty Snowflake account. My job over this series is to build the entire platform the way I would actually do it at a real job. With the corners you cannot cut, like security and cost controls, built in from the start instead of bolted on at the end. So every episode ends with something you can take with you. For example, a SQL script, Terraform module, a run book, a checklist. By the end of this series, you will have an entire reference platform and a portfolio of artifacts you can literally walk through in an interview. Quick check in chat. If you're planning to follow along on your own free trial as we go, drop a following along in a chat so I know you are with me live. So we're not going to do it live. For everyone else, no worries, you can replay this and you can comment it out. So let's get started with this series. Okay, first real decision Northwind has to make, and it is one that trips people up. Which Snowflake edition do we even sign up for? So if you have visited Snowflake website for sign up, you must have seen there are a couple of editions available to select for. So just to give some differentiate, like standard comes with compute storage, basic security. Okay, this is the standard edition, and we mostly use enterprise edition because whatever the assignment we had, we can complete it with the enterprise editions. So enterprise adds things we are going to need constantly in the series: multi-cluster warehouse, materialized view, search optimization services, and crucially more granular governance features. We're going to govern the Snowflake platform as well. And business critical edition adds some HIPAA type compliances, customer managed keys, like there's security all the way uh, from enterprise. For Northwind, a retail analytics company that handles customer PII but isn't, say, a hospital, enterprise is the realistic choice. It is also genuinely the edition most companies you will interview at are running. So that is what we are using for this whole series. So let me go create the trial account for you. So in my first attempt, I had created actually my account. So we're just going through one more time, like how you can create the account, or you can check my channel. There is one video like how you can create the account. Okay. So let me route to my web browser screen. Okay. So here, like if you Google Snowflake trial account, login, find something. Okay. Here you can go. So we are going to use it for enterprise kind of thing. You just need to put up your name, like work email. I'm putting some dummy values here now for now, and why you're signing up for. Okay, personal learning or something. And click on continue. Here it will ask you the cloud provider and region. This matters more than people think. In a real company, this decision is usually driven by where your other infrastructure already lives. Okay, so my company is like AWS compliance, and so we opted in for AWS. So when you are in the capacity or cluster planning with your architect, you will come to know like where your infrastructure is hosted. So based on that, you need to choose your cloud provider. If for now Northwind App Server, we consider it is an S3 bucket and we are in some region of AWS, and whatever the region your S3 buckets are there, you need to make sure like that region is selected while creating the Snowflake account. Okay. So you can give your company name, job title, and click on get started. So you will get the verification kind of email, and from that email you need to log in. Okay. That is how you're going to create the Snowflake account. If you have any questions or still there's some confusion around how to create the account, you can visit my channel and see that video, like how to create that account. So let us log in. Northwind, I have created this account. Okay. So a kind of verification email will land in your email box. Now let us talk about what actually just got created, because this is the piece a lot of admins keep past. What you signed up for is an account. Sitting above that Snowflake has a concept called an organization. Think of it as a container that can hold multiple accounts. In a real company like Northwind, might eventually have an account for production, a separate account for UAT or staging, maybe a separate account for a different business unit entirely. And org admin is the role that lets you manage all of those accounts from one place. That's it. We're starting with a single trial account today, but I want this in your head early because episode 2 is entirely about this: when to split into multiple accounts versus when to use one account with strong RBAC instead. It is one of the most common real world design questions. So eventually we'll follow the series and you'll be able to know what RBAC is, how we designed our databases, how we designed our warehouses, kind of thing. And a lot of companies get it wrong by either overframing into too many accounts. So let us talk about the multi account and the single account kind of thing. Okay. So I prefer like whatever the organization I'm currently working with, we had only one account wherein we have created databases for prod, UVT, and dev, and we have created the roles for those databases, kind of read only access and read write access, and whatever the teams we have, like data engineers, BA team, we had given them the roles accordingly. Okay, we have created RBAC for that role. So let's get back to our slides. See what is our next thing. This one is region वगैरह we have selected. Okay, we have to carefully select the region here, like where your AWS is hosted or where your S3 bucket is, kind of thing. Okay. Org admin, we have just covered like why org admin is important thing, and this databases, warehouses, roles, we are going to build everything. Okay, from episode 2. We'll do something in the episode 1. Okay, practical. Now, oh, this is interesting. Here, where most tutorials would just go, let's create a database called test. Okay, and move on. We are not doing that because I want you to feel the actual pain that naming convention solves. Okay, I want you to imagine Northwind 18 months from now on. 40 engineers, 12 teams, 3 environments, dev, EVT, and production, and 300 databases objects. If you if your day one naming was sloppy, nobody can tell what is safe to drop, what environment something belongs to, or who owns it. I have personally cleaned up, okay, kind of thing. I have personally cleaned up environments where the exact problem was day of investigation. Like we have spent couple of days to investigate just to confirm a table was safe or not to delete. So we are going to do a correct naming conventions. We're not going to do some fuzzy naming, for example, this and that. Okay. Now, Northwind naming standard. So, kind of example we have said. Here is the standard we are adopting for this entire series. I'm putting it on screen, and to we are going to use this same pattern in every single episode from here on. So, databases, for example, environment prefixes, then domain. So, for production sales table, we are going to give prod underscore sales as a table name, evt underscore sales, sorry, as a database name, dev underscore sales as a database name. Okay, so this way we can differentiate like which table the data from sales, is it from prod, evt, or dev. We can differentiate the environment. Okay, then the second thing is schema inside this databases. By data layer, raw, staging, curated, mart. So this is basically a medallion style layering, and it is related to data engineers mostly, but we need to have that knowledge like which architecture we followed. So this is like medallion style layering, and it will matter a lot when we got to the dbt episode later in the series. So we're going to do dbt as well. Okay, and then warehouses, like purpose plus size. Whenever we are creating any warehouse, we have to define the purpose plus size in the name itself. So something like etl warehouse medium, or bi warehouse small, kind of name we can. So anyone looking at the warehouse usage immediately knows what it is for. This becomes huge later when you are doing cost attribution in the FinOps model. So I would like to show you like what kind of things we are going to cover till the 40th episode, but maybe in the second episode or third, I'm going to prepare like whatever it is in the each episode. So FinOps is the model, we are going to cover it, and then rules for the RBAC, like functional names like finance analyst or D engineer, rather than generic ones like reader, read write. We'll go deep on this in this episode 6. Okay. Now let us actually build something live. We have our account created. Now let me go back to next slide. So we're going to create the warehouse. Okay. There are basically two ways, like you can use UI of Snowflake, or oh my god, I forgot to switch my screen to my PPT. Okay, no issues. So in the PPT, like these things are generic, like whatever I prepared for you, schema name, and this naming convention we have covered so far. Okay, let's go to the demo then. Okay, now we are going to create the warehouse for Northwind Analytics. Let me switch my screen to web browser again. This is the emergency now. Like on September 1st, like Snowflake has only one way of authentication, like username and password. They are not going to allow it now. We must have MFA for human user, and for service users you must have key pair or any kind of thing, like you need to implement that second layer of security. So I have copied something for you guys in my notepad. So instead of typing these basic commands like how to create the database and schema, we know, like we are an admin, like we have kind of DB knowledge. So I'm going to directly paste this here, episode 1. So create database if not exist, prod cells kind of database we're going to create now. So during the episode discussion, we are going to cover some interview questions as well in the upcoming episode, because today there's not at all we are going to cover the concept that we are going to use it. This is just the episode 1 kind of production kind of thing. So now database is created. So you see this workspace. Okay, confirm, like I'm using the same screen. You see this workspaces. You can maximize the navigations. From here we can see all of these uh, kind of functionality of Snowflake. Like we mostly work in the governance and security compute. From compute you can create the warehouses, and from the admin you can manage your cost, like how much cost we are spending across all the warehouses, billing kind of things, and in the data sharing we are creating some shares. So all of these menu mostly we are going to use it as in admin. Okay, so database is created. To confirm whether the database is created or not, we got this message, but just to check, create on this database, and you will be able to see prod cells database just created. Okay, 1 minute ago. So now use this database. From here you can do it, or from here also you can select your databases. No issues. Database is already selected. Just to make sure we're using the same database, use this command. Now we're going to create the schemas. You notice like how we are giving the naming conventions and comment also. If somebody new on board on this project, they will able to understand by just viewing this definition of databases, schemas, and tables, like what they are for. Okay, create schema. This one is also for staging. Creating schema curated. We are following the Madeline kind of layer architecture. So database is created and we have schemas in place. Okay. So far we have created prod cells database with 4 schemas, each with comment describing exactly what belongs there. Okay. Let me go to my presentation one more time, like just to see what is next, so that we are aligned with our plan. Okay, we need to create warehouse as well. Okay. So now just I would like you to refresh some concept about Snowflake. Like these all things we have covered in our other videos, or you might have seen a couple of YouTube content where they are explain you about the architecture, how Snowflake works. I just wanted to do a quick refresh kind of thing. Anyone new who just joined this series. So let us talk about Snowflake. Okay. Basically, Snowflake has storage and compute, and these two things are completely separate. Your database sits in Snowflake storage layer. Your data sits in Snowflake storage layer, regardless of whether anything is running or not. Okay. Okay. I just switch my current screen. Okay. So quick refresh for anyone newer to Snowflake. Storage and compute are completely separate things in Snowflake. Your data sits in Snowflake storage layer, regardless of whether anything is running or not. Warehouses are the compute engines you spin up to actually query or load data. Okay, what is the data? It is there in the Snowflake storage layer, and you pay for warehouse time, not for the data sitting there. You need to understand this concept. So your data sits in Snowflake storage layer. We have Snowflake's storage layer. Your data is there. Okay. Warehouses are the compute engines you spin up to actually query or load that data, and you pay for warehouse time only, not for the data sitting there. This separation is exactly why warehouse configuration is a cost lever. This is cost lever, not just a performance lever. Get it wrong, and you are paying for idle compute. Get it right, and performance and cost both improves. So this is something very critical. Okay, while creating the warehouses and all of this. Okay, and here is the trap. If you create a warehouse through the UI without touching the defaults, depending on your account settings, you can end up with the auto suspend set way too high, or in some flows, not configure the way you would expect. And that warehouse just sits there burning credits if anyone forgets to check it. This is one of the single most common causes of unexpected high Snowflake bills. So if you follow the architecture, like this is something those who are coming to this series, they must have some basic understanding about the Snowflake. Okay, I guarantee somebody watching this has a some knowledge about the Snowflake. If you don't have, you can go back to my channel where I have covered architecture and some basic things about Snowflakes and come back to this series. Okay, this is completely a separate series wherein you're going to build the complete infrastructure of one company. Okay, so coming back to warehouses, uh, let us practically create one warehouse. So much of theory is there. We are done with this so much of theory. So let us create one warehouse. Let's do it live. Okay. Let me switch my screen. Give me a second. So there are two things basically, like from the uh, UI also you can create your warehouse and using query as well. So query is there in my notepad. Let me paste it here. Yeah. So from compute, you just need to create the warehouse screen. Here there's one plus button. You can add it. Give some name, select kind of types and the size of that warehouse. This is very important because these sizes are like t-shirt kind of things, comes with the t-shirt size, x small to 4x large. Basically size is like basically warehouse is like EC2 instance in the AWS. Okay, and they comes with the compute power, like for x small you are going to get one CPU, for small you are going to get two CPUs, for medium 8 kind of CPUs are going to increase it. Again with the bill also, like if you are selecting x small, it is taking some credits like 1 credit or 2 credit per hour kind of things. Okay, we're going to cover that also. Okay, so let us get back to our query, like how we are going to create the warehouse. So all of these parameters, we're walking through every parameter is on purpose because each one is a decision, not a default to accept blindly. So first of all, create warehouse. If not exists, this is the warehouse name. Okay, warehouse size is the parameter. Okay, small, we start small always. You can resize in seconds with zero downtime. If somebody reach out to you like this is the query which is taking so much time to execute, can you investigate like why this query is taking so much time? You can immediately come back to your Snowflake, and from the query history you can see from monitoring, here it is a monitoring window. From the query history you can see like why the query is taking so much time, and you can click on that query ID and quickly check to query profile, and you can see what exactly the issue is. Okay, and if you notice this remote spillage or kind of thing, which eventually make a decision to increase warehouse size or go for multi cluster. Okay. Now, the second parameter is auto suspend. Okay. 60 seconds of no queries running and it shuts off automatically. No manual babysitting. So if somebody is running some ETL job and ETL job is complete, now the warehouse is idle for more than 60 seconds, it will automatically shut off. The next is auto resume. The moment a query, comes in, it spins. Auto resume is true. The moment a query comes in, it spins back up transparently. Like somebody is submitting a query, it is running that warehouses, so it will automatically spin up. And end user never notice the suspend or resume cycle except for a few seconds of warm-up latency. It is a very quick operations, no worries. And the next thing is like next parameter is initially suspended is equal to true. Uh, this is for like the demo purpose. Don't even start it running when we create it. No reason to burn the credits before we run a single query. So we're going to run this query now. Okay. Warehouse got created. So in the warehouse screen, from your computer, you can go to warehouses. You will see new warehouse has been created. If you don't see any changes, just refresh it. See, ETL WH warehouse small has been created and the status is suspended because we explicitly mentioned like initially suspend is equal to true. So now warehouse is created. Let's prove the auto suspend actually works. So I will run one query against it to wake it up. Okay, you'll just see it. Now use warehouse just to make sure I'm using the warehouses that we are creating. The name of the warehouse is ETL WH. Sorry, ETL W small. Correct. Enter. Let me see. It's not going to wake up. Okay. Now let me submit a query. Just I'm uh, going to see the timestamp. Okay. Select current underscore timestamp. Let me see. We got the exact current timestamp. Let us refresh here. It should wake up the warehouse. Now, home your warehouses. It immediately went to mode. Actually, let us create one table, kind of test, and try to select start from the table. It should like eventually start the warehouse, but I think it is taking it from the cache. Select timestamp. So that is why we're not seeing the start of the warehouse state. Okay. Let me switch back to my presentation. Let us zoom back out for a second before we wrap, because I want you to see today's work in context of full platform we are building. We created one account under one organization. Inside that account, we have got one database with four schemas and one warehouse. Okay, let me recap it. Uh, Let me recap the today's work, the kind of platform we are building today. We created one account, okay, Snowflake account. Under one organization, inside that account, we have got one database for prod with four schemas we have created and one warehouse. That is genuinely it. And that is exactly how a real platform starts. Nobody designs the full 40 table, 12 role, multi environment platform on day one. You lay a deliberate, well named foundation, and you build outwards from it episode by episode. Okay. So in the module one, from episode 1 to 5, we're going to see some foundations and account setup. How it is going to help you eventually to know how the architects are going to plan your Snowflake account. And in the model 2, we are going to cover RBAC and security. This is going to from episode 6 to 12. In the model 3, we are going to see some data ingestion and integrations. In the model 4, we are going to do some performance tuning. In the model 5, FinOps. In the model 6, monitoring and DR and Streamlits. We're going to create one Streamlit app actually. And last is CI/CD and Capstone. Okay. So what is decided and what is deliberately deferred? Okay. In today's episode, we locked in today versus today's decisions. Enterprise editions we have selected. AWS region I have selected something, but no worries. Like the bucket that we are going to use, we are going to select the same web or whatever the things we are going to do in the same region. We'll do it. Naming convention standard we defined. Warehouse hygiene defaults we have created, and what thing is left is like I haven't used multi account. Okay. And role hierarchy and all of these things eventually follow into upcoming episodes. And there's one thing, like once I run some query for the tables or something, the warehouse should spin up. That we will see in the episode 2. Okay. We are sequencing them the way you would actually sequence a real platform build: foundations before governance, before automations. Okay. All right. So let us recap what Northwind Analytics has on day one. Hmm? A Snowflake Enterprise trial account. Hmm? Naming conventions are in the place, and properly configured database with clean schema layer. Why I said clean schema layers? Because comments on each and every objects, and we have created our first warehouse. Okay. Everything we ran today is going to GitHub repo. Not right now, but I will create a GitHub repo. Like I have one GitHub. I need to create some repositories for this series. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put in the account link so that you can follow along. So next episode we are tackling the multi-account versus single account decision in depth, a real design question that comes up constantly in the interviews and in actual platform architecture decisions. Because we cannot do any mistake which is expensive. Okay. If you are following along on your own trial, here is your challenge before next episode. Create dev cells database using the same naming conventions we use prod cells today, and predict what schemas it need before I reveal it. Okay, drop your questions in the comments. I read it. I read everyone. If this is useful, the link and subscribe genuinely help the series reach more people prepping for the same kind of role I am seeing. So see you in the next episode. Thank you guys.